I could just bring you right in. So the judge is now, it's fair to say he's altered the gag order, right? He has not lifted because there are still some restrictions here. But this will allow Donald Trump to talk about witnesses, which the DA, the Manhattan DA's office, did ask the judge to keep that portion of the gag order up. He is not. He is now able to talk about the witnesses, the jury after this hush money conviction. So where do you see this going?
Well, there's still a problematic aspect to all this. He's preserving a gag order in part long after the jury has left and the verdict has been brought in. That sort of defeats the purpose of gag orders. The idea of gag orders are these navigational beacons that are designed to preserve the fairness of a trial. It's not clear to many of us why he didn't just lift the gag order. I mean, this party's over. He's heading towards sentencing, but he's not protecting a fair trial. One of the things that President Trump has wanted to talk about is the fact that you had people like Colangelo, who came from the Biden Justice Department to effectively lead aspects of this prosecution. And that type of cross-pollination is precisely what has been alleged in this weaponization of the criminal justice system. And so he's gotten a bit of a half loaf here. But the question is, why is Merchan still operating this throttle control over what a presidential candidate can say or not say?
The limitations are on individual prosecutors, court staff, and their family members. Right. And he's saying that's essentially until the sentencing on July 11th. But that still doesn't make sense to you. Well,
in terms of the prosecutors, that was a big ticket item for former President Trump, is his ability to talk about how this prosecution team came together. In terms of the family members, that obviously was an issue early on. But the real question here is why isn't the normal conditions appropriate here? He was convicted. People are protected by defamation laws. They're protected by a variety of different things. Why is it necessary for this one judge in Manhattan to continue to hang this Damocles sword over his head and say, look, if I hear a thing that I'm concerned with, I'm going to pull you back in here and you could be in violation of this order? And so it still is this disconnect as to why we're even talking about a gag order at this stage. It's clear the case is still before him. Okay, the sentencing hasn't occurred. I get that. But to not acknowledge that this is a presidential campaign and this is one of the big issues in that presidential campaign, I think is really nonsense. That the judge could have gone further than he did. I think it's good that he lifted it in part. I think that he recognizes that. I don't know why he didn't do that right after the verdict came in.
Jillian?
Jonathan.